I'm not leaving again without the secret of Monkey Island. Ooh, nice upgrade for eating al fresco. Did you feel the earthquake?
I was too busy running for my life.
You saved the cookbook.
Yes, I saved the cookbook. The ceiling was collapsing, the building was on fire, people running everywhere, and I saved the cookbook.
Cool.
You're welcome.
I hear patio dining is all the rage these days. You could think of this as a head start on renovations.
Insurance would probably have helped.
What are you drinking?
Soda with a twist of avocado. It might be a little fizzy for your grog palates.
Oh, sounds exotic. What are you drinking?
Soda with a twist of avocado. It might be a little fizzy for your grog palates. Not done with my drink.
That was refreshing. How come you're still here? The bar is half collapsed and slightly on fire.
Get lost.
I'm closer than ever to finding the secret of Monkey Island.
I'm not any closer to caring about it.
secret will be ours.
I've been searching for the secret since before you were born.
That's exactly my point. Finding the secret is a young pirate's game.
Years of experience and me relentless drive will ensure the secret be mine.
Only if you don't have a heart attack first. Ha! Last chance to give it up. Then we obliterate you.
Get off my ocean!
I'm impressed by your crosswind ramming technique. I'll have to add that to my book.
My crew is quite skilled when given the right motivation.
I am still worried about Threepwood. He shows up in the most unexpected ways.
We don't have to worry about Threepwood anymore. I left him broken and near death at the bottom of a cliff. His eye was pussing up, and bone was protruding from his leg. Animals have probably already scattered his limbs from one end of the island to the other.
So it's agreed. We stop fighting each other and we join forces to find the secret.
Agreed. No funny stuff. We split the secret. Teammates.
Honoring Melee Island's 27th governor, Carla the Swordmaster, for her heroic action. It doesn't look finished. Someone defaced Elaine's scurvy flyer. Out of business. Looks like the lights are still on, though. Am I too late? Was LeChuck here? Did Madison come? Did they get it? Where's the secret? You've had it all this time!
I possess little and much. To what are you referring?
Don't play dumb with me, Karina. I have the map. The secret of Monkey Island is here.
What is it you wish to know?
It's in that big safe by the door, right?
Yes.
Where are the keys to the safe? I'd like to get it open as soon as possible.
I am prevented from helping you with the keys. But there is one close by who knows much.
How do I find him?
Her, and she will find you.
How do you know that?
She is outside the shop.
Why did you take the secret? Doesn't it belong on Monkey Island?
I have taken nothing. The safe came to me as you see it and belongs to someone else. I accepted a fee and cast a spell upon it to prevent it being moved. That is all.
How could you keep this a secret from me? You knew I was looking for it.
It is not a secret from you, Guybrush Threepwood. It is a secret. Full stop. I am bound by an agreement, a contract, signed in blood, with gruesome punishments for disclosure.
Some kind of a voodoo thing?
No,
Who owns the safe?
alas. There are forces which prevent me from revealing the true owner.
Have LeChuck or Captain Madison been here?
No.
That's weird. They were way ahead of me.
Sometimes it's better to have two enemies than one. But you should not waste time.
I might have more questions for you later.
I might have answers, but I make no promises.
What happened to your cauldron?
I sold it to a soup shop on another island. They didn't mind the magic spell residue.
I hate to leave it here, but I can't. I'd need a lot of keys to open that. Ah!
You found the secret. You are a spark among fallen leaves.
Oh, I'm pretty excited.
Hold on to that feeling. I am Whiteling Bones. Whitey. Like you, the hunt for the secret consumes me. Like you, I know where the secret lies, but lack the means to open the safe. You must have many questions.
How do I open the safe?
5 locks, 5 keys. Golden keys. Hidden long ago.
What do the golden keys look like?
They're gold. It's just paint, but they look nice.
Where can I find the golden keys?
Most are found already. Got one myself. Old Mrs. Smith had one before she died, and Bella Fisher, too. Also, I heard one was found on Bermuda.
That's only 4.
One more was supposed to be hidden on Terror Island. That one has never been found.
Hang on, I'm writing all this down on my to-do list. This doesn't sound so hard.
A lot of people don't come back from Terror Island. Also, Bella Fisher sank out at sea and nobody knows where. Took her key with her.
Oh. Can I borrow the key you have, just to try it out?
Not so fast, bright boy. Whitey Bones is not such an easy mark. You prove yourself. Get some skin in the game. Find me when you've got more keys than I do, and maybe I'd talk partnership.
Why is the secret in the safe instead of on Monkey Island? Do you know?
Secret's always been in the safe.
Uh-huh. How come I never heard about any of this before? I'm kind of a secret of Monkey Island buff. You'd think I'd know about it.
The clues were buried deep and clever. Only a few ever puzzled them out, and we keep ourselves to ourselves.
This all seems needlessly complicated.
Life is like that sometimes. Best just enjoy the ride.
You seem more lucid than when you were hanging out of the window on High Street.
We all got our good days and our bad ones. If you don't know already, then you'll see.
See you around, Whitey. I've got keys to track down.
Okay, bright boy. But you watch your step. There is a curse. The keys are protected by a terrible curse. Beware.
Whoa! A curse? Really?
No. I mean, yes, she did say that, but she was just being dramatic. Whitey likes to make a big exit. Well, one thing's for sure. I don't know how to get to either of those islands she mentioned. I'd better get a good sea map right away. On an errand, back soon. Darn it. Property foreclosed by order of Madison Enterprises. Hey, Wally. Have you got a sea map of the local area? Can you jot down the locations of Terror Island and Bermuda?
No problem. I'll also add a few extras. The ship tracking feature is going to blow your mind. It's a little trick, I know. You need to be able to go the extra mile if you want to make it in the big time, like me. Be careful. The last pirates I made a map to Terror Island for were never seen again. And Bermuda can chill you to the bone. Not many pirates want to head up there. Oh, and when you get to Scurvy Island, say hi to Elaine for me.
Thanks, Wally. And sorry about blowing you up that one time. Hey, Wally. What was the deal with all the crazy maps on Monkey Island?
I made the map to the secret, and a darn good one, I might add. But what other people do with it after purchase is not my legal responsibility.
Why didn't you tell me the map said the secret was right across the street? That would have saved me a lot of time.
Sorry, but I was all NDA'd up on that one.
It's the pirate life for me.
Yep,
Ooh, those look fancy.
the finest tools to make the finest maps.
I appreciate that Wally hasn't traded it in for a new model just because it's been around the block once or twice. I feel very strongly about that for some reason. Wally, can I have one of these maps?
Absolutely. If you pay for it.
Never mind. Do I owe you anything at the moment?
Ah, yes. I'm doing so well right now that sometimes I forget to collect payment on small orders like yours.
This should cover it.
Thanks.
Wally, can I have one of these maps?
Absolutely. If you pay.
Never mind. I didn't know you made globes, too.
I don't. This is for reference. It's got all the latest continents.
Hey, Wally, what's with the window?
I use it to keep.
Well, it's good to... I'll wait until I'm back on my ship to open it. On an errand, back soon. On an errand, back soon. Darn it.
Welcome to the God's Wallop.
Thanks.
We feature the freshest fish on the block, and the freshest company as well.
Whether you're here to buy or just pass the time, we don't mind. Though, of course, we do prefer it if you make a purchase.
Didn't you guys used to be the pirate leaders? It's me, Gilbert Threepwood.
Ah, I thought when we spotted him skulking around town that he looked passing familiar.
How come you retired from pirate leadering?
Well, now, sometimes retirement is not so much a choice as a thing that settles upon you.
Like being becalmed at sea.
But it's allowed us to open this place and pursue our passion for fishing. So perhaps less like a calm and more like a strong wind blowing in a particular direction. Have a look around, why don't you?
These are tremendous. What are they?
We don't actually know. Found them at the bottom of the shipment.
Well, they look great, but I don't have a wheelbarrow. What are these little yellow guys?
They're lump suckers. Easy to eat and great for sucking out cysts and boils.
I know fish can't blink, and I'd like to buy some lump suckers.
Cute little fellas, aren't they? Here's a box full. Should be plenty. You want me to run a tab for you?
Sure, thanks. Well, they look great, but I don't have a wheelbarrow. Are these eels?
Hagfish. Very tasty, but don't let him get round your neck.
I'd like to trade my fish in for some hagfish.
Fine choice. I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. Ugh, they're more like snakes than fish. I'd like to trade my fish in for some lump suckers.
I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. These suckers are certainly lumpy. What are these pointy ones?
Slime heads. Some folks like to cut off the pointy parts before eating, but that's a personal choice.
I'd like to trade my fish in for some slime heads.
Stout fellow. I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. Ew, they're slimy, all right. And not just the heads. What are those fish up there called?
Floaters. Best not ask why.
That's an amazing trophy you have there.
Aye, that's a combination trophy and fly swatter. In case we ever get an insect infestation.
I'd like to trade my fish in for some bloaters.
An underrated delicacy. I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. They're semi-bloated. What are these blobby guys?
Toadfish. Surprisingly, no relation to actual toads.
I'd like to trade my fish in for some toadfish.
Fresh off the boat. I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. It's basically a lifetime supply. It's a copy of At the End of the Plank.
Oh, aye, a gift from a good friend. I haven't actually read it myself yet.
Can I borrow this book?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Me either.
He's a handsome devil.
First fish I ever caught. Couldn't bear to eat it. Of course, I was only a lad of 3 at the time.
They have hagfish, toadfish, slimehead, bloater, and lumpsucker. What's that flag with all the holes in it?
Quite proud of that. We caught it up in a fishing net one day. 'Tis one of the signature flags of Bella Fisher herself.
Bella Fisher? That was Bella Fisher's flag?
That's what I said, yes.
Is the flag for sale?
Bite your tongue. That's property of the chums.
With the who?
No one.
It's too late. The bait's out of the bag. We might as well tell him. The Chums is by way of being a semi-secret society of anglers.
Mostly we tell stories.
Aye, stories about fish.
Can I join the chums?
Well...
I promised to keep it semi-secret.
Have you got any good fish stories?
Yeah. One time, I was swallowed by a manatee.
No one knows what a manatee is. Trust me, make it a whale. It'll be better.
Okay.
Take this fishing lure. Other chums will have these too, on their clothes or displayed somewhere. Go out and find them, show them your lure, and tell them your story. They'll give you advice. Learn all you can, then come back here and tell us your story again.
You could start with that young pirate that hangs around at the Scum Bar.
Don't tell him where to start. He's supposed to look for the lures.
What can you tell me about Bella Fisher?
Bella Fisher. Aye, she could spin a yarn from Port Royal to Trinidad and back again.
And a consummate angler she was.
What?
Good at fishing.
She had a secret fishing spot, she did. More bounteous than the whole rest of the sea together.
She probably rests there now, being as she did disappear on a fishing trip.
No one knows the location, though 'tis rumored that she left clues as to its whereabouts.
Did Bella Fisher ever show you a big fancy key?
No, I don't think so.
Not to my memory.
Just thought I'd check. Remind me how I'm supposed to find other chums.
They'll have
Possibly ward,
or otherwise.
and then ye show them.
Got it. Did you guys feel the earthquake?
That we did.
At first, I thought it were just me stomach complaining about me breakfast.
Aye, we all thought that.
I'm hunting for the secret of Monkey Island.
The secret?
What a prize!
I know!
They say the pirate what holds the secret can never be sunk, that the wind always fills his sails.
In the old days, we might have gone after it ourselves.
But we've got new fish to fry, so to speak.
Can I trade in my fish for some other ones?
Talk to the grizzly gentleman at the counter about that, please.
Yeah, it's my shift.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. I presume you want to tell a story, but I can also tell just by looking at you that you're not ready for the likes of us. Go out and find more chums to advise you. They'll know when you're ready.
How much for the goldfish?
Sushi's a pet. She's not for sale at any price.
That's an interesting mounting method.
Caught that one trying to escape.
Excellent, Marlin.
Aye, that ain't real. It's a promotional item from a local yak butter fellow. But it looks nice enough.
Aww, this is where I risked my neck for Elaine, and she shook.
Hey, Guybrush!
The lamp broke. Possibly an improvement. It's been reduced to rubble. It says jail rules. 1. No escaping. 2. No earthquakes. Otis. What are we gonna do with you?
I didn't do anything this time. I was framed.
Where's Stan? Did they let him go?
No, Stan got sentenced to hard time. Did you know he was representing himself?
I've heard that's unwise.
They took him to the ice quarry on Bermuda.
What did you do to get arrested this time?
Nothing! I was just standing there minding my own business, applying for earthquake relief. Did you know you're only allowed to do that once?
There is no justice. Are you worried the rest of the building will cave in?
Yes! You think you could spring me again?
Ugh, I doubt it. It looks like something happened to the serial number on this lock. I'd like you to tell the museum curator about our jailbreak all those years ago. The one with the mugs of grog. He doesn't seem to have the story quite right.
Of course, the truth is important. When I am free again, I will pay him a visit.
Well, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Let's visit again soon.
Have your people call my people.
It's been reduced to rubble.
Hi there.
Hi. Hello again. Can I get another key made?
Sure. Just write down the serial number and give it to me.
Hello again. Would your mother perhaps have been known as Old Mrs. Smith? Whitey Bones said something about an old Mrs. Smith.
Well, I didn't call her that. But I suppose some people did. Mainly when she was older.
Did your mother find any of those golden keys she was looking for?
One. She left it to me in her will.
I will pay you any amount of money you like for your mother's key.
When my mother died, her personal possessions went into probate with the court. When they came out of probate, I was still too devastated to claim them. As you can see from this letter the court sent, they and the key have been destroyed.
Well, this is an unexpected wrinkle. What happened to your mother's golden key?
As you can see from the letter I gave you, the court destroyed the key.
I think I'll browse around a bit.
Try not to touch anything.
At the end of the plank,
My mother's. Please don't touch it.
I see a peninsula trailing off into small islands, but no X marks the spot.
It's southern Florida. I have family there.
Can I try out your key grinder?
No. I wouldn't want you to lose any fingers.
Come on. Can I please try your key grinder?
Seriously, I don't much care if you grind off a finger. But I don't want to have to clean up afterwards.
Come on. Can I please try your key grinder?
Seriously, I don't much care if you grind off a finger. But I don't want to have to clean up afterwards.
Handsome looking parrot.
And also vicious. But it was my mother's favorite.
Watch the ship for me. Bite anyone who tries to steal it.
You're fine. There aren't any scrap lumber dealers on Melee.
It's only slightly singed. Carla might not even notice. Are you done with the cookbook? I'd like it back.
No, you can't take it! With my bar gone and no hope to repair it, this is all I have left!
I'm closer than ever to finding the secret of Monkey Island.
I'm not any closer to caring about it.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. Have you a story to share?
One time, my ship was swallowed by a whale.
You know, what your story needs is a part to set the stage, to let us know what's going on and who the people are. It should come at the beginning, like
A beginning?
like a beginning, exactly. Like, I was on the deck of a burning Spanish galleon with Horseface and Itchy Joe. And then all of a sudden, and then you take it from there. Want to give it a try?
Okay. I was up in a crow's nest with a demon lookout called Flambe. And then, all of a sudden, we ran across a mermaid stranded on a rock. Or maybe merperson is more correct?
Yeah, that's the way. Obviously, you're new at this, but don't worry. Other chums can show you more of the ropes.
Okay. I could stare at this forever, but that wouldn't be much fun for you. Hi there, little guy. It's nicely dried, pre-cut, and ready to go. I think I'll fill up my coat pockets with this bulky firewood. Seems like it might come in handy somewhere, and I'm sure no one will miss it. Two parrots. Security's been beefed up. Or, I should say, parroted up. Actually, I think I'd rather not hear about that again. Tell me about this flag.
Oh, it's a super valuable artifact I recently acquired. One of Bella Fisher's original pirate flags. One of only 3 known to exist.
I wonder what they're waiting for. What are y'all waiting for?
Earthquake relief. And you'd better not be looking to jump the line.
I wouldn't dream of it.
Those who cut, get cut. Hey!
Thanks, Carla. Good luck. Guybrush.
Hi.
I want to hear all about the secret, but I've got to go back to Scurvy Island right now. Let's talk later.
Okay. Have you seen the line of people outside?
Those are citizens who were affected by the quake. But there isn't any money in the coffers to support the relief effort. I'm basically handing out IOUs.
Can I get in on some of that sweet, sweet disaster relief?
I already told you there's no money. I'm handing out IOUs.
I'll take what I can get.
Fine. It's not real money anyway. I have to list a purpose, so what's it for?
There's a huge, hazardous crack on Low Street.
You say hazard, I say public parkour course. But I guess you're right. This is just a promise from the town to back your relief project at a later date. Don't get too excited.
It's an IOU for funds for repairing the crack on Low Street. It's a lot of work being governor. Can I get any more disaster relief IOUs?
It's one to a customer. If you want, I can revise the IOU I gave you to apply to a different project, but that's as far as I can go.
Yes, please.
Okay, what do you want to do?
The jail needs to be reinforced.
Well, that's certainly true. Here you go.
I have to return the book I borrowed first. The Sea Monkey 2 is almost as nice, and it's a lot bigger. Stan's building collapsed. This place looks like an earthquake hit it. There's a torn picture in here. This half shows Stan himself. It says, Tan's previously owned vessels. There was a time when every mooring would be filled with one of Stan's used ships. It's old and the bristles are frayed, but it does resemble a toothbrush. I think they've captured Stan quite well, actually. They did a nice job with the coat. It's basically a lifetime supply. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
Permission to come aboard.
Afraid we can't let you do that.
Permission to come aboard, sir.
This isn't a protocol issue.
Although we do enjoy a good protocol.
Are you going to let me talk?
Apparently, that's what you enjoy doing.
There's been a deadly scurvy outbreak on the ship. We're under strict quarantine, so we don't infect others with this deadly pathogen.
Where'd you get that cool flag with all the holes? Looks familiar.
We found it floating in the ocean. It's one of Bella Fisher's flags. She probably lost it when her ship went down.
We're afraid to take it down and offend the scurvy gods.
There is no such thing as the scurvy gods.
Well, then why is there scurvy? Answer me that!
Can I have your flag?
Did you not hear me? Scurvy! On board! Quarantine!
Well, you could just toss it down to me.
Best not to risk it. It's probably crawling with scurvy, trust me.
I don't think scurvy is contagious.
You don't know that. My mom's gardener's second cousin's pastry chef says it is.
It's a scientific fact.
Oh, don't try to snow us with your science quackery.
If scurvy wasn't contagious, then only one person would have it.
Duh.
I really don't think scurvy is contagious.
You don't know that. My friend's nephew's barber's brother says it is.
Peddle your science to someone more gullible.
Bye. Don't let the scurvy bite you.
Scurvy bites? I knew this was bad.
Biohazards are my least favorite hazards. I'm sensing a generally negative attitude directed at visitors.
You have the deductive power of a cantaloupe.
I don't see a chum's lure anywhere.
You're right. It won't budge.
It's strong magic.
I can still get it open with a spell, but I need a good power spot.
It beats trying to find the keys. We don't even know where to start. It could take forever. Only a fool would do that.
I know an excellent place for power spells, but it's not on this island.
No problem. We can craft it there and then come back here.
We'll take my ship.
I'll stay here to keep an eye on the safe.
And steal the secret yourself? I don't think so.
Stop it. Clearly, no one trusts anyone to stay behind. We'll all go together.
What if someone else finds out the thing is here?
The only map is lost somewhere on Monkey Island. Probably eaten by a wild boar by now.
The map maker knows it's here. I've got a bone to pick with him anyway. I'm thinking maybe one of the large ones in the leg.
Death waits for all who enter. I'd turn back if I were ye. That's encouraging. Yeah, I'd better not get any close. Ah, Papa Pichu! That hurts. Hope they're not poisonous. Rest in pieces. I might catch something. Or something might catch me. Did that just move? I thought I saw it move. In all the worst places, there are mushrooms. It's like a slow crashing wave of spores. It's like a slow crashing wave of spores. I'm sure I'm a more skilled survivalist and have nothing to worry about. This place gives me that lonely feeling. I'd rather keep moving along. There's no such thing as a man-eating mushroom, right? It's locked. It says XYZZY. I can't quite get it off of there. I've had it with locks. The serial numbers have long since rusted away. I skipped school the day they taught lockpicking. This key doesn't fit. XYZZY. It's getting hard to tell the flora from the fauna. There's no such thing as a man-eating mushroom, right? I'm not sure I want to know what happened here. I'll be fine as long as I don't lose my wits and keep my head. Ugh, looks like he had the wrong person watching his back. What really bothers me is, why do these pirates look familiar? Looks like another greedy pirate who met a sordid fate. Yeah, this place gives me the creeps. It's an old oil lamp with a little lamp fuel inside. It's not lit, but it does have some lamp oil in it. I'm not sure I want to know what happened here. I'll be fine as long as I don't lose my wits. For a dead tree, it's a little too lively. For a dead tree, it's a little too lively. Just a dead end. Sounds a little creepy if you think of.
Halt, ship! If that's what you can call that.
Made it myself. It's a source of pride.
This is a scurvy inspection point. The law requires that you're carrying limes before I allow you to proceed north.
Perhaps you would consider some pieces of 8?
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Due to an outbreak of scurvy, all ships heading north are required to carry limes.
Sounds like a reasonable law.
You will have to turn back. Failure to do so will result in fines, incarceration, and/or scurvy. Back so soon? This is a scurvy inspection point. The law requires that you're carrying limes before I allow you to proceed north.
Have I mentioned my wife is spearheading a...
Good for you. Due to an outbreak of scurvy, all ships heading north are required to carry limes.
Sounds like a reasonable law.
You will have to turn back. Failure to do so will result in fines, incarceration, and/or scurvy.
Ah, Scurvy Island. This is where Elaine's been growing all the limes for the Marley Foundation's Scurvy project. She's probably back here by now. I can't wait to see her. It says the Marley Foundation's Scurvy Treatment and Prevention League, or STAPL, welcomes you to Scurvy Island, 1.5 miles to STAPL headquarters. It's a very realistic likeness of the scarlet-plumed point and snip bird. I didn't know Elaine was into woodworking. Whoa, had me fooled. Thanks, bird. Shh. Wow, Elaine sure has been busy. I better talk to Elaine before I steal any limes from the foundation she's worked so hard to set up. That's where all the driftwood goes during driftwood mating season. That's where all the driftwood goes during driftwood mating season. Elaine and I swim there sometimes. Elaine and I debate about whether it looks... I love that place. It's like a 100-foot candy cane. Elaine? Are you decent? Hello? Hi, I'm working due west of the lake and due north of the lighthouse today. I pinched a yak with it once, and then I sort of accidentally pinched the staple remover. I had it for years before... Hey, this used to be a picture of both of us. What happened to the me part? Hi, I'm working due west of the lake and due north of the lighthouse today. Pirates used to have to steal this from Elaine to prove themselves. Now, at least that's what they told me when they made me do it. Hi.
Hi.
I was hoping I'd run into you again.
I was hoping that too. What happened at the voodoo shop? Did you get the secret?
Not yet, but I'm closer than ever. I just have to gather a few golden keys together and I'm good to go.
That sounds promising. What about LeChuck and Captain Madison?
They weren't there, oddly enough.
Well, be careful.
How's your project going?
The project has hit a snag. We have plenty of limes, as you can see, but people are refusing to take them. They say they don't like the taste and they don't believe they'll help with scurvy. As an elected official, I could have issued an edict, but as a private citizen, I have to convince people. I tried this flyer.
Yeah, I've read part of this.
I know it's terribly dry, but the facts are there.
Have you tried using a different font? Comic Sans, for example.
Yes, but I need a small one to fit all the information on.
What about adding bullet points? They could be little limes.
People not liking limes is part of the problem, though.
Good point. What if the text was centered instead of left justified?
Somehow I don't think that's going to make a lot of difference.
I'm not sure what to tell you.
It's basically a sales and marketing problem, and neither of us is an expert in either of those things.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'll hang on to the flyer. Maybe I can find a sales and marketing expert to look at it.
Okay.
Can you spare any limes?
You can take a few. Well, like I said, I'm having trouble giving them away.
How come the picture of us on your desk was torn in half?
Yes. Sorry you saw that. There was an incident with a seagull. It flew away with you into the lime groves. I looked, but I couldn't find you.
I see. You said a seagull carried away my half of the picture of us?
It flew into the lime groves. So far, I haven't found it. Sorry.
Love you.
You too.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Guybrush! You've joined the chums! I'm glad. Maybe a new hobby will help you get your mind off the secret.
Sure.
Well, let's hear what you got.
I was up in a crow's nest with a demon lookout called Flambe. And then, all of a sudden, we ran across a mermaid stranded on a rock.
That's nice, Guybrush, but I think you've left out the most interesting part. What was it like to meet a mermaid? People want to hear about the experience.
That makes sense.
Want to give it a try?
Okay. I was up in a crow's nest with a demon lookout called Flambe. And then, all of a sudden, my ship was swallowed by a manatee. A really, really big one. The crew wanted to have her for dinner. I mistook what they meant. I lit the hull on fire with Flambe's head so it would burn underwater.
What on earth is a manatee? You lost me after that.
Love you.
You too.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. Have you a story to share?
It was my first trip to Monkey Island. The crew were restless. And then, all of a sudden, we ran across a mermaid stranded on a rock. The crew wanted to have her for dinner. I mistook what they meant. Fortunately, most people have no idea what mermaid tastes like.
I think you've got it. Well, I think this is really good for you. You should find some other chums to share your gift with.
I'll do that. Elaine and I debate about whether it looks like a parrot or a cockatoo. That's where all the driftwood goes during driftwood mating season. These groves go on forever. The bird has a torn picture in its nest. Is that a picture of me? Ah! That bird needs an attitude adjustment. It's not a ghost chicken. It's a seagull. Ah! Whoa! It's not a parrot, it's a seagull. one of Bella Fisher's original pirate flags. Wait, what's this tiny writing on it? Replica not to scale. Oh, nuts. It's basically a lifetime supply.
Hello.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. I presume you want to tell a story, but I can also tell just by looking at you that you're not ready for the likes of us. Go out and find more chums to advise you. They'll know when you're ready.
I'd like to trade my fishing for some lumpsuckers.
I'll put it on your tab.
Thanks. Wally? What? This is all that's left of Wally's standard-sized maps, globe. Wally, can you hear me? Are you okay? I guess he's not here. Wally, can you hear me? Are you okay? I guess he's not here. And he's probably not okay. These maps were Wally's life's work. At least I assume so. It's not like her to leave the place unlocked. Also, I smell brimstone and beard oil. LeChuck's been here, and that magical glow on the safe is new. I don't know what this glow means, but I bet it means LeChuck. Or Madison. Either way, I'd better find the keys soon. I'd need a lot of keys to open that.
Hey, Gilbert!
Probate Order 1673832, pursuant to Statute E, Section C, subsection IS. Any writing that was once here has been rubbed away.
Not done with my drink.
Hey, Gilbert!
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. Have you a story to share?
It was my first trip to Monkey Island. The crew were restless. And then, all of a sudden, We ran across a mermaid stranded on a rock. The crew wanted to have her for dinner. I mistook what they meant. Fortunately, most people have no idea what mermaid tastes like.
Your story's not bad, but it's missing a few things. Find some other chums to help you fill in the gaps.
I'll do that.
Halt! Ship! This is a scurvy inspection point. The law requires that you're carrying limes before I allow you to proceed north.
Here, look, I have limes, see?
To proceed north, you'll have to fill out a customs declaration form. Name?
Guybrush Threepwood, Esquire.
Fill this out and be completely honest. Right, let's see how you've done. Well, we have a problem right off the start. We don't allow pirates on Bermuda. I'm going to have to request that you leave these waters immediately.
Does it help if I'm a mighty pirate?
No. Back so soon? To proceed north, you'll have to fill out a customs declaration form. Name?
Guybrush Threepwood, Esquire.
Fill this out and be completely honest. Right, let's see how you've done. Good answer. Interesting you would check that one. Good penmanship. Okay, this looks in order. You may proceed with full approval of the Bermuda Port Authority.
A bucket filled to the brim with rotten fish bones. The wind must have blown out the fire. Okay, it's lit. It's way too high to reach. I'm staying far away from this. It's a very regal-looking ice sculpture. It says, Courthouse of Bermuda.
Order! Order in the court! I am going to cite you for contempt of court for not asking permission to approach the bench.
I humbly apologize. May I approach the bench, Your Honor?
You may approach the bench. Court is now in session. Judge Plank presiding. How do you plead?
Innocent. Due to lack of evidence, all charges have been dropped.
Order! Order in the court! Quiet down the gallery or there will be arrests.
What did Your Honor do wrong to get this appointment?
Never beat a Supreme Court justice in cribbage.
Your Honor, do you have to buy your own robes? Or are they court-appointed?
Order! Order in the court! If I don't get order, I am going to clear the court!
Did I mention I am searching for the secret of Monkey Island?
Until it becomes a legal matter before the court, it is of no interest to me. Although, I do remember a case several years back where the secret was claimed to be a fraud and a scam to sell computer games. I believe that was settled out of court for a substantial sum.
Your Honor, are you wearing pants under that robe? Please remember that you're under oath.
Order! Order in the court! If I don't get order, I am going to clear the court!
That is all, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned!
Now there's someone I've got to meet. It's locked. Maybe I'll come back later. Is there anything special about this stump?
No. Why?
Well, it was tagged, so I thought, maybe there would be a great gag about a secret opening to a system of tunnels or something like that.
Please don't joke about tunnels next to the prison, sir.
Hi. Any chance I could get inside the quarry?
Not many try to get in here, just out. What's the purpose of your visit?
I'm an ice retailer, investigating supply possibilities.
You'd have to take that up with the head office, which is not inside the quarry. The only people allowed inside are the prisoners. And also, I suppose, people visiting the prisoners, but no one ever does that.
I'd like to visit a prisoner, please.
We do have a visitation policy, but it's quite strict. Who are you here to see?
Stan.
We do have a Stan. I'm a little surprised he'd have a visitor. Can you prove you know him?
I can describe him. Loud jacket. Never stops moving his arms. Or his lips.
That does sound like him. But I'm supposed to see some actual physical evidence. Just bring me something that shows you two have ever been in a room together. That way, I can tell my boss that I did my job.
It's old and the bristles are frayed, but it does resemble a toothbrush. Probate Order 1673832, pursuant to Statute E, Section C, Subsection IS. By order of the court, the following unclaimed personal effects have been destroyed. Golden key, fancy box. Looks official. It's got a wax seal of a parrot on it. Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. Have you a story to share?
The pirate hunter Morgan LaFlay had my first mate at sword point. And then, all of a sudden, my ship was swallowed by a whale. It was gross inside. Soft floors and yellow stuff all over the place. I made a fishing line with my own hair.
Listen, let me tell you something about anglers.
By which you mean people who fish?
Right, but if you are one, you'd say angler.
I would?
Every subculture has its own special language. Words with significance specific to that subculture. When you use them, you convey both meaning and membership.
That sounds good.
That's why authentic sounding fish stories always have plenty of angler lingo. For example, I wouldn't tell people a big fish broke my string. I'd say I was jigging with a hard bait when a strike from a lunker snapped my leader.
That's both highly specific and difficult to understand.
Exactly the point. Want to give it a try?
Okay. I was bait casting dead stick from a crow's nest with a Guggen called Flambe. And then, all of a sudden, my ship was swallowed by a huge lunker of a whale. A real chum-chomping line breaker, if ever there was one. A guy already inside thought I wanted to steal his girlfriend. Morgan Le Fay and I said we were married, so I'd seem unavailable.
Yeah, that's the way. You almost sound like a real angler. I have given you my best tip. See if you can get some other chums to do the same.
I'll do that. The guard is guardedly guarding the guardhouse.
Do not approach the gate, please, sir.
Nice view.
Stay back! I could see you! How did you find me?
I just sailed up and here you were.
Who are you?
I'm Guybrush Threepwood, mighty pirate.
Are you alone?
Do obnoxious talking skulls count?
No.
Then yes, I'm alone.
I heard that.
I'm Ned Filigree, accountant. I don't mean to be rude, it's just that I'm in hiding.
You must be good at math.
I'm a creative accountant. Math doesn't really enter into it.
You any good?
Don't judge me by where I live. I've just had a few setbacks. It's all I can afford right now, but it's temporary.
Who is it you're afraid of?
Well, have you heard of Stan S. Stanman?
The name sounds familiar.
Thank goodness they locked him away on Bermuda. He'll be chipping ice in the quarry for a long, long time. I can't help but be nervous, but actually, I guess I've got decades before I really have to worry about it.
How come you're afraid of Stan? He's always struck me as pretty harmless, except economically.
Sure, but you never can tell what someone like Stan will do. He's got no moral center.
There's that term again.
Like I said, I'm glad he's safely stuck in the Bermuda quarry for a good long time.
I'm on a quest to recover the secret of Monkey Island.
That's a good move. I've heard the secret is a one-of-a-kind intangible, which means you can assign it whatever value you want to. Also, since it's very old, you can claim a lot of depreciation.
Wait, are you trying to tell me I'm gonna have to pay taxes on the secret?
Not if you're smart about it.
I'm gonna explore the island a little bit.
Holler if you find anything interesting.
Nice likeness of you. Where's the other half?
No comment.
Can I have the picture?
No! That would be weird.
That's a mighty fine looking chest you have there. What's in it?
Everything I own. The fruits of a man's life. The yardstick by which I'll be measured when I'm gone. It's mainly paperwork.
Where do I find the mint groves? Hi.
Hi.
Greetings, fellow chum.
Greetings, fellow chum. Have you a story to share?
The pirate hunter Morgan Le Fay had my first mate at sword point. And then, all of a sudden, my ship was swallowed by a huge lunker of a whale. A real chum-chomping line breaker, if ever there was one. A guy already inside thought I wanted to steal his girlfriend. Morgan Le Fay and I said we were married, so I'd seem unavailable.
Which you were.
Yes, I was.
Well, I think this is really good for you. You should find some other chums to share your gift with.
I'll do that. Hi.
Hi.
What do you think of Stan Stanman as a marketing advisor? He's in jail, but maybe he can look at the pamphlet anyway?
That guy could sell fleas to a dog and probably would. Just what we need, actually. Good idea.
You said a seagull carried away my half of the picture of us?
It flew into the lime groves. So far, I haven't found it.
Love you.
You too.
That's where all the driftwood goes during driftwood mating season. I love that place. It's like a 100-foot candy cane. It says the Marley Foundation Scurvy Treatment and Prevention League, or STAPL, welcomes you to Scurvy Island, 1.5 miles to STA. Hello? Anyone up there patrolling the deck? Ready to kick me into the sea? Sounds like the coast is clear. I hope. Unless it's a trap.
You are a disgrace to the pirating profession.
I'm more focused on the staying alive profession right now, thanks. So far, so good. This is a bunch of empty containers of monkey blood and squid ink. So, obviously I'm actually Guybrush Threepwood.
Pleased to meet you. Again. I assume that's your real skin this time?
Yeah, sorry for tricking you with the other two.
Two?
One. Math's not my best subject.
Either way, don't worry about it. You're LeChuck's rival, not mine. I've got better things to worry about. Also, I enjoyed the book you brought me.
Where is everybody?
Flambe's up in the crow's nest. Odds are he's sleeping. Iron Rose said she was running an errand. The rest went with LeChuck on that other ship.
Would that be Captain Madison's ship?
I think that's right.
Interesting. Don't tell LeChuck I was here, okay?
No, don't worry. I wouldn't want to risk making him that angry. He gets a bit, scary.
Remind me why Flambe still has a job? He doesn't do anything.
He's handy to have around when we have to fix things below the waterline at night.
Hang in there, Bob.
Still not funny.
Now's not a good time to attract attention. These things get more sophisticated every year. I wouldn't want to wake him up. Devil crabs like limbs, apparently. An empty demon pepper box. Looks like Putra replenished her supplies. Old boots and deodorant. It's kind of soothing in a weird way. This is Chef Putra's Demon Pepper, made from the hottest peppers you can get. That ought to give it some zip. This is torn from a portrait of Elaine and me. What do you think of this picture of me and my extremely dear friend Stan together? We had it painted at our local Muskrat Club meeting.
You look real close. All right, you can go in and see him. But no escapes.
I wouldn't dream of it.
You don't want to be right there when I open the gate. Go stand next to his stump. All clear.
You know Stan?
Way in the back.
Seen Stan?
Way in the back.
You know Stan?
Keep on walking, you'll find him.
Seen Stan?
He's in the back corner.
Hey, Stan.
Hi there, son. Nice to see you. What are you in for?
About 5 to 10.
Minutes or hours? you don't have the look of a man doing any more than that. Nope, you have the look of a man who's going places, and who might want to decorate those places when he gets there. I want you to consider these two words: ice, sculpture. Separately, they're exciting. Strength.
Dan, not today.
Don't wait too long, they're selling like hotcakes.
How about I bust you out of here? This place seems a little harsher than the jail on Melee. I might or might not know a competent locksmith who could take care of those shackles.
Oh no, son, I can't escape. Wouldn't be wise. I'm only in for a month after all. Got a copy of the judge's order right here. Yeah, I sure did get off light. Lucky for me, they never caught on to my pyramid scheme, or I'd probably be doing 10 years.
Tell me more about that pyramid scheme you mentioned.
Honestly, I don't know why the law makes such a big deal about it. It's just creative money management. Easy if you know what to do with the figures. I've got this accountant, Ned Filigree. He's a genius with that stuff. If they ever saw his records, well, let's just say the first thing I'm doing when I get out is go burn all that paperwork.
This place sure is quiet.
That's what productivity sounds like.
My hunt for the secret of Monkey Island is going great.
Good for you, kid. Closing time comes too soon for us all. You gotta try all the snacks you can before it does.
I think I'll poke around a little.
You enjoy yourself, son.
Elaine and I could use some marketing advice. The Marley Foundation is trying to combat scurvy by distributing limes, but no one's willing to take them.
I feel your pain, son. I had a similar problem selling life preservers in the farming community. Sometimes people don't know what they want even when they want it. You got any promotional materials?
Elaine made this pamphlet.
I see the problem. It's wrong from top to bottom. You couldn't sell water to fish with this blather.
It's a little dry.
Well, it's got facts in it. Worse than that, scientific facts. I'll need to meet with her to iron this out.
Can't you just tell me what to do and I'll tell her?
No, that won't do. Things get lost in translation. A whinny isn't a whinny if it doesn't come out of a horse's mouth. No shade on you, son, but you're not a pro. You wouldn't be able to convey the nuance that's needed here. She and I have got to have a meeting of the minds, and minds have got to meet face to face.
I'll let her know. Are you sure you don't want me to break you out?
Like I said, I'll be out in a month anyway. I can handle the shackles until then.
I think I'll poke around a little.
You enjoy yourself, son.
It looks like a secret escape tunnel. It's locked. Maybe I'll come back later. May I approach the bench, Your Honor?
You may approach the bench. Court is now in session. Judge Plank presiding.
Your Honor, may I inquire about the case of Everyone v. Stan?
Sales and marketing people like Stan are a blight on society, to be sure, but a month was all I could give him. The case lacked evidence. If there had been any legally binding evidence, I would have given him 10 years with no chance for parole.
He once sold me a leaky ship. Does that count?
The court rules not admissible, given the statute of limitations is up. Court is adjourned.
It's the judicial order for Stan's imprisonment. It says... May I approach the bench, Your Honor?
You may approach the bench.
I have no business with the court, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.
Hold it! Are you sure you weren't followed?
We're safe.
No one is ever 100% safe.
I think you might be interested in this judicial order in the case against Stan S. Stanman.
Ah! What's this? Only a month? Oh no! Take these records! Get them to the courthouse on Bermuda. They'll know what to do with them. It's very damaging stuff. Stan will get 10 years at a minimum. I'd take care of it myself, but I've got to pack for witness protection. Oh, goodness!
Can I have the picture?
Not now, I'm packing.
Can I help you pack?
I can handle it. Just take that evidence to the court on Bermuda.
May I approach the bench, Your Honor?
You may approach the bench.
Your Honor, may I inquire about the case of Everyone v. Stan?
Sales and marketing people like Stan are a blight on society, to be sure, but a month was all I could give him. The case lacked evidence. If there had been any legally binding evidence, I would have given him 10 years with no chance for parole. Court is adjourned.
Your Honor, I submit this satchel bursting with incriminating financial documents as Exhibit A in Everyone v. Stan.
The evidence is so entered. The court requires that Ned Filigree swear an affidavit if said evidence is to be accepted.
I can swear like a sailor, if that helps.
Order! Order in the court! Opposing counsel will refrain from vulgar language in this court.
Can Your Honor please cite the statute requiring a sworn affidavit in cases of...
Statute 7, Section H, subsection G, parenthesis E.
I see.
And Section U, parenthesis E, parenthesis II, subsection A, parenthesis B.
Okay.
And Section S, parenthesis T, parenthesis F, subsection U.
I withdraw the question. For the court, I can state that I'm Ned Filigree.
This court can establish vis-a-vis customs documents that your name is actually Guybrush Threepwood, Esquire. If I don't get order, I will clear the court. The court can only accept said documents when accompanied by a sworn affidavit of the person who is legally Ned Filigree. Court is adjourned.
Weirdly, this island seems even smaller now that there's no one here.
Order in the court! I will have order! Do not waste this court's time by submitting incompetent, irrelevant, and immaterial evidence.
It's an IOU for funds for repairing the jail. Probate Order 1673832, pursuant to Statute E, Section C, subsection IS. By order of the court, the following unclaimed personal effects have been destroyed. Golden key, fancy box. Looks official. It's got a wax seal of a parrot on it. I think it's out of juice.